In the opulent penthouse hallway of Manhattan's most exclusive building, a tense silence hung heavy, broken only by the sharp voice of Bradley Torres, the building manager. "Get that child out of here now." His shout reverberated, his face flushed with rage as he pointed an accusing finger at little Jade, a 5-year-old clutching a colorful lollipop, her wide eyes taking in the scene. Carmen Rodriguez, her mother, gripped Jade's hand tightly, her heart sinking under the weight of humiliation. At 28, Carmen had taken the cleaning job at billionaire Jonathan Pierce's penthouse for its double the usual salary. But the emotional toll was proving unbearable. "This is no place for people like you to be walking around with children." Bradley spat, his words dripping with disdain. It was only Jade's second day accompanying her mother to work after their daycare closed due to unpaid fees. Carmen, her voice barely a whisper to avoid disturbing her boss working in his office, pleaded, "Mr. Torres, please. She's quiet. She won't bother anyone. Her school closed, and I have nowhere to leave her." "I don't care," Bradley snapped. "A slum kid has no place in a $15 million penthouse. Mr. Pierce pays for professional services, not daycare." Jade, clutching her lollipop, absorbed every venomous word. Even at 5, she understood cruelty when it was aimed at her mother. Unnoticed, a door at the end of the hallway opened silently. Jonathan Pierce, the 42-year-old Wall Street titan whose $8 billion fortune was built on ruthless precision, observed the scene with an unreadable expression. His icy blue eyes scanned Bradley, still oblivious, as he continued his tirade. "If this happens again, you're fired. Got it? And don't bother crying people like you are a dime a dozen." "People like us?" Carmen's voice, firmer than she intended, cut through the air. She lifted her chin, meeting Bradley's gaze. "Can you explain exactly what you mean by that?" Bradley smirked, unaware of the billionaire's presence. "You know what I mean. Be grateful for the chance to work here instead of making demands." The soft sound of polished shoes on marble broke the tension. Jonathan approached, his gaze fixed on Bradley. Jade, undeterred by the hostility, let go of her mother's hand and stepped toward the imposing man in the impeccable suit. "Would you like a piece of my lollipop?" she asked, her voice clear and sweet. "Mommy says sharing candy makes people less angry." The world seemed to freeze. Bradley paled, noticing Jonathan. Carmen held her breath. Something flickered in Jonathan's cold demeanor as he looked from Jade's outstretched lollipop to Carmen's protective stance, then to Bradley's sweating face. In that marble hallway, where prejudice had just bared its teeth, something was about to shift forever. Jonathan bent down to Jade's level, accepting the lollipop with a gentleness that stunned everyone. "Thank you," he said, his deep voice echoing softly. Bradley stammered, "Mr. Pierce, I was just explaining the building rules. We don't want situations like this again." "Situations like this?" Jonathan repeated, standing slowly, his eyes pinning Bradley. "Be specific. What's the problem?" Carmen, raised in Detroit by a single nurse who juggled 3 jobs, braced herself. She knew how quickly such moments could turn against her. "Well, sir," Bradley continued, regaining some composure, "we have standards. Residents pay high fees for a select environment." "Select," Jonathan echoed, the word bitter on his tongue. His gaze shifted to Carmen, then Jade, who watched with innocent curiosity. Carmen spoke up, her voice steady despite her fear. "Mr. Pierce, I apologize. This won't happen again." "Why is it inappropriate?" Jonathan asked, surprising. "Them all. A polite child offering candy to a stranger, in what world is that a problem?" Bradley, sensing his control slipping, pressed on. "With respect, sir, employees aren't supposed to bring guests. It's a security issue." Jonathan's voice took on a dangerous edge. "A 5-year-old is a security threat." Jade tugged at Jonathan's jacket. "My lollipop's strawberry." What's your favorite flavor? The question, so innocent, created a surreal pause. Jonathan, whose decisions moved billions daily, admitted, "I've never thought about it." A fleeting vulnerability crossed his face. Carmen felt a stir in her chest, seeing not the feared billionaire, but a man touched by a child's simplicity. Bradley, desperate to regain ground, made his fatal mistake. "Mr. Pierce, you can't let these people manipulate you with kids to gain sympathy. It's an old tactic." The silence was deafening. Jonathan's eyes turned lethal. "These people," he repeated. "Elaborate." Bradley, trapped, doubled down. "People from certain backgrounds use children to get special treatment. It's common." Carmen's anger boiled, but she stayed composed, a skill honed over years of facing prejudice. Jade, sensing the tension, asked, "Mommy, why is that man talking like that?" Carmen knelt, kissing her daughter's forehead. "Some people say bad things when they're scared, sweetheart." Jonathan observed, his expression hardening. "Mr. Torres," he said, voice like ice, "we need to discuss this privately." He turned to Carmen. "Please continue your work. Jade can stay in the library. There are children's books there." As Carmen nodded, a mix of gratitude and caution in her eyes, Jonathan led Bradley to his office. The soft click of the door was like a gavel falling dot inside. Bradley's confidence crumbled under Jonathan's scrutiny. "Sit," Jonathan ordered, standing by the window overlooking Manhattan. "Tell me about your hiring protocols. What makes someone suitable to work?" Here, Bradley sensed a trap. "We prioritize professionals with solid references, experience, and who fit our standard of excellence." "Standard of excellence," Jonathan mused. "Carmen has those qualities." "So what's the issue?" Bradley leaned forward, misreading the moment. "Let's be honest, Mr. Pierce. People like her cause trouble. Today it's a kid. Tomorrow it's relatives asking for favors. It's always the same." Jonathan let the words hang, his silence chilling. His phone rang. Marcus Chun, his trusted assistant. "Marcus, talk." "Mr. Pierce, I've completed the employee evaluation analysis you requested. The results are revealing," Marcus said. Jonathan had ordered the review after noticing inconsistencies in Bradley's reports. "Send it to my private email," Jonathan instructed. "And start a full audit of hiring and firing processes, discreet but thorough." Bradley's discomfort grew. Jonathan returned to him. "You were saying about these people." In the library, Carmen helped Jade pick books, her mind racing. Jade, holding a forest animal story, asked, "Mommy, is the tall man nice?" "Why do you ask, sweetheart?" "He took my lollipop." "Bad people don't like candy." Carmen almost smiled despite her anxiety. If only the world were that simple. In the office, Jonathan's calm was a predator's patience. "I've admired your efficiency, Bradley, but I'm questioning your methods." He opened his laptop. "In 5 years, you fired or reassigned 17 employees, 14 were Black or Latino, for reasons like cultural inadequacy or communication issues." Bradley's blood ran cold. "That's coincidence, sir. I hire based on qualifications." "I'm sure," Jonathan said, sarcasm cutting. "It's also coincidence that white employees get raises and promotions, while others face vague performance issues." 3 floors below, Marcus compiled damning evidence. The data revealed Bradley as the architect of a system minimizing ethnic diversity through subtle, illegal practices. As the son of Korean immigrants, Marcus knew these tactics too well, he thought. "You could build this discriminatory system under my nose," Jonathan said. "You're mistaken." Bradley stammered, "I can explain." "You'll explain to the lawyers, investigators, and everyone you've harmed." Jonathan cut in. Marcus entered with 3 folders and a tablet, his expression grimly satisfied. "The audit's complete, Mr. Pierce. The results are devastating." He faced Bradley. "You fired 17 employees for cultural inadequacy. 14 were Black or Latino. You hired 23 white employees for similar roles, often less qualified. White employees got 32% raises over 3 years. Black and Latino employees got 7%, with vague justifications. Bradley tried. Those are numbers out of context. Marcus opened his tablet. These messages to other property managers say otherwise. September 23rd. Got rid of another one. Used the communication excuse. These guys don't belong here. November 15th. Find any reason not to renew contracts. Residents pay not to deal with certain presences. Jonathan stood, his voice icy. You've turned this building into a monument to prejudice. Marcus added, 11 former employees documented systematic humiliation and sabotage. Plus, financial irregularities, service charges, and payroll deductions targeting minorities, totaling $80,000. That's theft, Jonathan said. And discrimination. Bradley's legs buckled. You can't destroy me like this. I have a family, so did Carmen, Jonathan replied. So did everyone you ruined because you deemed them unworthy. He picked up the intercom. Carmen, bring Jade to my office. Bradley tried. If this goes public, it'll hurt the building's reputation. Jonathan laughed coldly. This building will be known as where justice triumphed. Carmen entered, Jade clutching her lollipop. Jonathan turned to Bradley. Tell her about your standards, how she doesn't belong. Bradley stared at the floor, silent. Lost. Your voice? Jonathan mocked. He faced Carmen. For 5 years, this man built a system to exclude people like you. He fired employees for their race, stole wages, created hostile environments. That ends today. Mr. Torres is fired and faces criminal charges. Carmen, I'd like you to be assistant manager, with a salary reflecting your true value. Jade approached Bradley. Why did you treat my mommy badly? Her innocent question shattered him, exposing the ugliness of his actions. Police sirens neared. Jonathan smiled, not coldly but with satisfaction. There's poetry in this, Carmen. Jade's lollipop exposed the bitterness here. Carmen hugged Jade, realizing that small act of kindness had sparked a revolution. 6 months later, Carmen walked the penthouse halls as assistant manager, her demeanor confident. She'd implemented inclusive hiring policies, making the building a model of diversity. Jade, now 6, attended an elite school but retained her sweetness, running through the hall with her idea of colorful plants. Mom, the garden's grown. Marcus showed Jonathan a New York Times article praising the building's transformation. 17 candidates requested transfers here, he said. Jonathan watched Carmen train new employees with kindness and firmness Bradley never had. Competence has no color when we stop excusing mediocrity, he said. Resident satisfaction soared under Carmen's leadership. Uncle Jonathan. Jade ran to him, offering a green apple lollipop. Always, he said, accepting it with the same smile from that first day. Bradley faced ruin, fired, sued, and unemployable. Carmen learned revenge wasn't repaying harm, but achieving unimaginable success. As Jade shared lollipops, spreading sweetness where bitterness once ruled, one truth shone. A child's kindness can change the world.